Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope, if anything, you've laughed today. That's for sure. Scott Phillips with me this morning. Of course, Joseph Scott. You two work kind of together.
Well, sure we did.
Yeah, well, our careers overlapped at the Arsenal. When did you retire?
I actually retired in 11.
Okay, yeah.
And, so,
And Joseph's still there.
Absolutely,
I'm still there.
absolutely. We're waiting for you to come on the other side, my friend.
Well,
Come in.
retirement would be nice, but my wife says I got to keep on working.
Not just yet. Not just
I hear
yet.
you.
Scott has been with us in the past. He's written a book, if some of you remember him. Scott Shuttleman Phillips. Now, you actually, this is the second book?
That's right. It's the second publishing.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much.
We're here for several different things. I know.
Right.
Now, Scott is one of these people that I can just say, take it away, Scott.
Uh-oh.
That's all I have to say.
Ah.
Here's why. What are you doing?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're getting ready to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, 2019, July.
Wow.
And so I'm a docent, of course, in your retirement. You have to do something with your hands and time and all that. So my wife said, get out. I need you to do some things. So I'm a docent at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. And so I've been added onto the commission for the 50th anniversary of the moon landing next year. And so
Now, that's going to be a huge deal.
it's going to be a huge deal. We're expecting 1 million visitors in the year
Wow.
2019. So we have speakers, and we have book signings, and we have rocket launches, and we have all kinds of exciting things. But I've been tagged with doing wood carving.
No.
And so, but wait, Jamie, wait till you hear this. Apollo 14,
Okay.
back in 1971, took up tree seeds to the moon. And those tree seeds were brought back, germinated, half of them died. But the one planted at the Kennedy Space Center was a sycamore, and it grew to maturity, and Storm Irma knocked it down last year. So traditionally they mulch those trees because they don't want woodhounds out like me. Well, a month later I get a call. They did save a log for me.
Aw.
I'm very honored. I was
Wow.
10 years old when we landed on the moon. So 50 years later, I get to participate by
Don't you cry.
by actually being able to carve, and I've decided that we're going to make a guitar,
Awesome.
music from the moon. So
how cool.
it's in the process of being built by C.F. Martin Guitar Company,
Oh,
and it's a world-class guitar that will be signed by the 4 remaining moonwalkers, and it'll be having a Saturn V inlaid on the fretboard. And so we're very excited about it. So, but we're going to have a song competition here in North Alabama. And the winner of that 3-minute acoustic of us landing man on the moon will get to perform the song on that guitar and, of course, get national press and a cash prize and all that. So that's my thing, is to get that instrument made so that can happen next year.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm very excited about it.
How do all the musicians out there that want to participate in this,
Absolutely.
how do they get involved?
Well, you know, at this point in time, you go to the website at U.S. Space and Rocket Center, and then we're going to have at this point, we're deciding the cash prizes, and we're talking about maybe an expense-paid trip to the Kennedy Space Center to perform that song also down to Kennedy. So,
What did it feel like when they called you and said, hey, Scott,
Well-
you got a log?
well, I tell you,
That may not mean a lot to anyone else,
yeah.
but that's
Well,
awesome.
it was very spectacular because I was watching. I knew about the tree falling. It didn't really have any significance to me because it wasn't going to be backed up with any kind of paperwork. But they gave me the plaque that was at the foothills of the foot of the tree, so that authenticates the log. And so I got interested. But then a month later, I get a call from the center director, and they said, you got it. So I'm very honored. And so we're drying the log up now, and we'll have a cut plan to cut that. But I'll be making other things with it also.
Okay.
So,
As far as what he does make, Spalted Spirits is something that you can find on Facebook, and you can check out all the different figures, I guess you can say. Now, tell us about this. Now, this is my favorite you brought
Well,
to
there
me
you go.
this morning. You did this, and you found it, and you were like, oh, my goodness, Gloria, I found you.
I found, well, you know, I'll tell you what, I found Abraham Lincoln, I found George Washington, I
Yeah.
found a lot of people, but then that actually was a find that was just jumped right out at me. I said, that is Gloria Cooper. And so I wanted to make sure that you got that, to have that for your collection there for the holidays.
Thank you,
and
sir. That
to be
is too cool.
reminded that you are something. In fact, Jamie, you already won the lottery because you actually are married to this nice person.
Man.
When that money doesn't go
No
away.
amount of money can replace this person right here.
You are so
you're a winner.
sweet. So
You're a winner
sweet.
already.
That's right. I'll remind him of that
That's
later
exactly
today too.
right.
This is so sweet. Now you actually have an app that you make. You make these talk.
Right. Well, what we're doing is, on a text messaging, you send, hey, give me a roll of toilet paper, give me a gallon of milk. Not that you're, white supremacist or anything, but get a gallon of milk. And but you don't know really the timbre of that. You don't know if somebody says, hey, I love you. You don't know if they say, I love you. I love you. But this is, you can actually put your voice in this, and you can actually, I love you, and you tell the timbre.
How many different different designs do you have?
Oh, probably,
Spirits that you call them?
probably at this point in time, 4,000 different designs, and we take them around the shows. I just got back from Wilmington, Ohio,
Right.
and I went over big. We did the Home Street Festival this year, just last weekend, and everybody's buying them for the holidays and Christmas.
You've made little ornaments also. So if you find
Right.
a spirit that you like, or one that reminds you of someone, what a unique gift to
Yeah, it really
pick
is.
out for
Oh, I
them. It
appreciate it.
is. And I mean, these are just beautiful.
Appreciate it. And you get a little card along with it to
Do.
explain the journey.
Now, this is actually 2 pieces of wood
That is correct.
put together.
That is correct, and so you have to make
They
sure
duplicate.
that you have to dry the wood up. And I'm a dendrologist, so I understand the dendrologist.
Dendrologist.
That's a person that studies hardwoods. That was part of my hobby in life. Is I love the 20,000 different species of woods that's available, and I use them like musical notes. To a piano player, a guitar player, I use
Well,
these
got you out there, Joseph.
so I've discovered, in fact, it's become manna for me that I can actually go out in the woods and spot these trees and actually dry them up and then cut them and then make these beautiful spirits.
It keeps you completely busy, too.
Yes,
I'm
it
sure.
does. It sure does.
Well, gee, what will you do next?
Well, I've got other things planned. We're going to do an Intarsia piece for the Kennedy Space Center depicting. I have someone that's going to assist me on putting a puzzle piece of the moon landing together on wood, and I'll have over 500 pieces, if not 600 pieces, depicting the moon landing. So this will be unveiled at the Kennedy Space Center along with the guitar here at the U.S. Space and Rocket. So we have 2 woodworking projects going on. So we got 240 days to make this happen, and so we started about 3 months ago.
Scott was at a show that happened to be very early. I'm going to share this story.
Oh, yeah.
And Scott is never one at a loss for words.
No.
Scott is a very energetic person. And this person came up to you and said, it's way too early for this. Are you on drugs? You're just high on life.
High on life, the fact that, wood for me has been a great hobby, but it's been a great legacy because, I did the shuttle models, as Joseph remembers. I did over 450 of those shuttle models, and believe it or not, I was in Ohio this past year, and a person that received one for his retirement was there, was with his family, and it was 20 years ago, and he recognized me and came up and honored my family by telling me that he still had his shuttle model on his mantle at home. So these are legacy pieces that I'm glad that I was able to do during that shuttle program time. So
Joseph, any questions?
No, I've just admired his work all through the years, and like I said,
I appreciate it.
he's, no, my legacy at NASA, I don't know what it'll be, but
Absolutely.
Well, you kept the astronauts hydrated.
that's true.
Absolutely. That's very important.
important, too.
That's very
They
important.
Yeah.
need water when
Well,
you're
and before that, 13 years I worked in the tox lab, so we kept them from breathing the toxic
That's
fumes
exactly
and stuff.
right.
So
That's exactly right.
It's a
that's what I
team
always
effort.
said was the satisfaction of my job was knowing that the astronauts are safe. When you watch these movies and you see just how dangerous life is in space.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One little thing
One
that
little thing.
here on Earth is
Can
just
kill
not a
them
big
all.
deal. You just roll down the window, you turn your air on recycle, or you do whatever. Up there, it's a crucial decision.
It's a life
So-
changing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened just recently with the Russians' explosion.
Yeah,
bringing
the Soyuz.
Yeah. So that's so it is not easy. Even this time in 2018, it's still hard. So you're doing a good job, and I appreciate it. And I watch you all the time because I'm very, very happy.
How can people find you, Scott?
Well, you can go to www.removebeforeflightbook.com, and that's a website that covers everything from Spalted Spirits to the Remove Before Flight book. and some other products that we're selling. Of course, the shuttle models, I still continue to do those.
Spalted Spirits, I know it has its own Facebook page as well. You can
It
go
does.
there.
And we, of course, now have animated them now, so they do talk.
That's
Okay.
So I got you talking, dear Gloria. So you're giving the
Love
weather
it,
report
love it,
when,
love
yeah.
What a personal gift. Thank you so much.
Well, you're very
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
Thanks for having me there.
You are
And,
welcome.
it's great.
Well, we're going to go to a Country Rover story now that Jamie did, talking about Space and Rocket Center.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
How appropriate we're
I'm
going to go to that
excited.
this morning. But thank you for being with us.
Well,
Get
thank
the
you.
book. It's very interesting. He's full of information, too. Look him up on Facebook. All right. Thank you, Scott. Thank you,
Thank you.
Joseph.
Thank you.
Y'all have
See
an
ya.
awesome day. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Where they know you by name and treat you like family. Down home, a man's good word and a hand.
Sorta, but for Wayne Vickers of the Alabama Space and Rocket Center, it's something he does 2 and 3 times a day. Wayne is the guide supervisor here, and when everyone else is busy, Wayne takes his place on the 5 Degrees of Freedom machine. There's also a room here at the Space Center you've probably never seen before. It's where Wayne spends a lot of his time, the suit room. Wayne is normally the resident astronaut, wearing a $100,000 training suit to various states and to other functions to promote the Space and Rocket Center. And if Wayne can wear a spacesuit, so can I.
Well, Jamie, you have the first part that you need, which are your long handles.
Well, how often do you wear it?
I wear it 2 or 3, 4 times a week, maybe.
It takes at least 15 minutes to get the spacesuit on. The temperature inside is a cool 105 degrees. And once you've got the 60-pound suit on and your headgear, you're ready for a walk to the moon. Neil Armstrong walked on the moon 10 years ago today. Well, I'm not on the moon, but I'm on the next best thing to the moon, and I may not go down in history, but these words will always be remembered. The Country Rover has landed at the Huntsville Space and Rocket Center. I'm about to burn up this thing. In Huntsville, I'm in 30 my Country Rover, Jamie Cooper. Now for some moon dust.